Today is June 8th, Monday at 10:23 a.m. 2024. It definitely feels different on Monday morning. Not working, because for a little over 20 long years, most Mondays, I had a busy work schedule. And sometimes if I didn't have a job, I would be actively looking for jobs or things like that. So life does feel a little different this way. I will soon get very active with the job search too, because it's been a while. I have to figure out a way, even with other things, how to start being active with the job search. I met with a friend yesterday, and that actually helped, because sometimes when we talk to a friend about these things, it kind of helps us to focus on the right direction, right or wrong. But I think that is, for me, that is going to be a good thing, to have a schedule. And I kind of worked most of my time on schedule, so that is kind of what helps me. And I don't follow it in a too rigid way, but sort of I want to make the exercise a little more frequent. Right now, I barely go to the gym once a week, and sometimes, while not exercising, I end up with like lower back pain or something. So then last week I exercised at home. I did Leslie's Sun Zone walk at home. I used to do that back in 2020, 2021 during pandemic. Also did Zumba, but I think going to the gym, or even if it's walk is hard these days, because the temperature is like 95, 100 or something, so close to 100. So I will figure out a way to, maybe even if it's a consistent 2 days and then consistent 2 days, something like that. Consistency in everything, consistency matters. So the mindfulness practice, reading the books, I'm doing that consistently, but I think the physical exercise is where I am lacking. And sometimes when there is a stress, and I feel that the stress built up in the body, and the way our body and mind is connected, our body is more connected actually with subconscious than our mind. Sort of like when we drive a car, our body knows the movement, because it's just over and over and over, keep doing the same thing, and then the body kind of knows what's next, and the body goes on that autopilot. So same thing, and both are important, because mind, there's a thing that's going on in my head in the last couple of days, a challenging situation. I'm thinking for myself, like, all our outward manifestation comes from our internal mind. It's a reflection, it's like a mirror. So when our mind, we have garbage in, we have garbage out. So I have been doing some good things at the same time. I think my thought process have been little not positive, not little, maybe more than not positive, and that's why the outward manifestation was not as positive. So I read this book yesterday, a chapter, The Power of Positive Thinking, and there he talked about Norman Vincent Peale. He talked about having the using positive words and communication, and how that can change the experience. Excuse me. Sorry, I just got a text. um, and how positive experience can be created in so many different ways, and we just have to um, like going out with a friend or going to the gym. Different physical experiences would create different mental structure. But sometimes if we are too tired, too busy, we can't really afford to do another big thing. And then how can we simply, it's the little things in the everyday life that makes the difference. And in that little things, if we take a positive action, then our thinking is positive and then the feeling is positive. Feeling happens automatically based on the thinking or the action. So to simplify it further, I would say not even worry about the feeling, even though they say focus on your feeling. From my perspective, I think of it more like an action, because I used to think also a similar way, that thinking, feeling, actions, but the feeling will generate automatically if we are focusing on the positive thought and positive action. These two feed each other more closely. If you think positive, you're gonna act positive, and they act positive, think positive, which kind of feed each other in a good way if we do good way, and then it'll be bad if we do the negative way. So I have this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age by Dale Carnegie. It was written in 1936. This book, it's good for leadership, all sorts of relationship. They say with friends, at work, at home. And I remember back in 2019, it helped me tremendously at a place where I was working, and I created a thing called gratitude wall. And this is actually my gratitude wall at home. I kind of did that to change the gratitude practice a little bit. We used to just speak it, and then last several months, I wrote it down. And Alice sometimes writes it down when she thinks, and sometimes my husband writes it. I also actually fell off the wagon in the last week or so, or maybe more. I haven't written one. I used to write one in the morning, one in the night. When things get busy, it does get hard, and then I forget doing it with all the other things. But this morning I did one. Because gratitude, even if it's momentary, it does takes us back to those little things that we can be grateful for. There are so many books, so many studies that talk about how gratitude makes a positive difference in our lives. It creates a positive neural pathway in our brain. So I want to continue doing that. And in Dale Carnegie, the book, a majority of it, I can, as soon as I see it, I remember, because I've listened to that book maybe 40 times. I don't know. And the audio book is only about 7.5 hours, but the important part is remembering those points when you need them. Not necessarily just remembering the whole book is good, but when you really need to apply them, and if you remember it, that's when it's most important. This morning I saw a quick video on YouTube where person, her channel, she kind of, I think her calls herself relationship coach or something. And it was interesting how she put this, it was a quick video, 2.5 minutes video, but I thought it was really, really good. I forgot the name of the channel or the person's name. She talked about any triggers in our relationship, and any sort of relationship. It's not just the relationship with our partner or kids or friends. It is, or at work, the triggers that happens in our interaction with others are the triggers that, those are the teachers in us, that teachers for ourselves, if we look at it, and those are the ones we need healing. And until they're healed, they keep coming back up, because and it really resonated with me. I kind of, as I speak about it, I'm thinking it's like that, when we have a cut in our arm or a finger or something, and then if it's not healed, especially until it is fully healed, when there is, if we are poking that part that is already cut, it hurts. It hurts even more. It's like Buddha's 1 arrow or 2 arrow story, where if an arrow hits at one place, and then if there is a second arrow, third arrow at the same spot, it hurts even more. And a lot of time what happens with that is, if it's not healed, we keep telling ourselves the stories related to that, and unfortunately the bad stories we keep telling ourselves, and then our experiences, the outward experiences, shape through that. It goes back to that thinking and the action. So we think negative, our actions are negative. So somehow we have to break that cycle. So either we take a positive action, or the positive thinking, whatever is it at the time. What I found is that I got into the paper books a lot with the reading, but sometimes when I'm reading the paper book, it's kind of, mind can go in different direction, whereas when listening to the audiobook, it happens a little less. It could be just me, because I was more used to with the audiobook for many years. But sometimes I try to read it out loud a little bit, the books, and then my focus stays more on the book, and then I kind of underline the parts that I find really important, and I need to remember, so I underline them. In all of this journey, one great thing is that I think for me, Buddhism really helped. And I also do puja for Hindu god, as Shiva tapestry god from Amazon. I do puja for Shiva too sometimes. And I try to pray at least a little bit every day. I printed a picture there from online. What good shall I do this day? And then there I have, be kind, be the kind one. So in Buddhism, there is a loving kindness meditation. A lot of books, different religions, all have similar messages. It's basically what resonates with us at different times of our life. Different things resonate for us. You just have to find what works. and keep following that. And for me, I found that Buddhism is something that really, really, and especially Thich Nhat Hanh, keeps me in line. I know it's Thich Nhat Hanh. This book, The Art of Living, is a very good book. And it's a weird way of saying keeps me in line, but I think keeps my thought processes. It helps me to keep coming back in this mindfulness journey and mindfulness path. And no wonder, because Time magazine actually commented about Thich Nhat Hanh that the monk who taught the world mindfulness. So that's a big, big statement. So he had so much more influence in all around, especially with the kids. So last night, Alice and I, again, we read a little bit of Thich Nhat Hanh book. She read a little bit, and then I also read a page or two. We didn't have much time. And then I was telling, I have the 3 how-to books, or how to relax, how to smile, and how to love. The How to Love I bought, and the other 2 are from libraries. Unfortunately, the library doesn't carry the other one, so I was looking up on Amazon. There is altogether, I think there is 9 or 11 how-to books. So there's one called How to Focus, and that has a picture of a chessboard on the top of the book. So Alice wanted me to buy that book. I said, you know that it's not related to chess, right? Because she likes to play chess. It's like a new thing. Last few weeks she has been playing, and she's really enjoying it. So she said, yeah, I know. So anyway, I bought that book, and then there's another one I ordered. It's called How to Fight, but actually the content of that book is, I read how to not fight, meaning if there is a fight, then how to respond compassionately instead of really fighting back. In some way, I think what I read from the description or the people's comments, it's almost like, I guess, like this book, The Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg, but very, very simpler and generic version, because Thich Nhat Hanh books are like super, super, super simple, and the language can be understood by kids. That's the best part I find about Thich Nhat Hanh books, because it is written in such a simple language and simple way that like everything is like a few pages. So it's very easy to hold a concentration, and I think that's why kids can feel connected to this books. Yeah, so today I'm thinking, actually I planned yesterday that, okay, so I'm gonna create some schedule for me where I figure out a way to make the physical exercise and the job application and the mindfulness practice in a schedule, so that I keep a healthy balance of things in my life. And with the grounding in the present moment, every day is a fresh start. That's what the cup I'm drinking out of today. I'm grateful for the coffee that I'm drinking, and I'm grateful for the sun and the green trees. I'm able to look outside and see. grateful for the Mother Earth. Grateful for Buddhism. I'm grateful that I can keep getting back up even after I fall down. That's important. I think Mark Cuban said that. Not that I like everything about whatever Mark Cuban says, but this thing was very interesting. I think he said you need to get back up only one more time, then you fall down. So that way, I think it makes it sound a little more easy, because it's not that you fall 10 times, you have to get up 10 times, but you do. But after 10th fall, if you get back up only one more time, 11th time, then you're on the right path. So I try to remind myself of that. Just get back up only one more time. Then the path doesn't seem as difficult. We are all connected. Like Thich Nhat Hanh would say, the trees and the sun and the moon and the rocks and ourselves and this table and the chairs, everything. And from some religion's perspective, it may seem odd, but in Buddhism and even in physics in some way, they talk about that too. Everything is made of stardust, and the proton, neutron, electron, underneath of it, we are all the same. And yeah, we forget. A lot of time we forget, and then we think of everything as permanent. But in Buddhism, many religion talks about it, but Buddhism, they emphasize on it, the impermanence. And this book is chapter 4, The Art of Living. And it was interesting synchronicity that happened back in December, I think, where at that time I just started Buddhism. It was December 4th or 5th. I just started following Buddhism deeply, and I go to Toastmasters on first and third Fridays. We have our Toastmasters meetings, and there was a speech. Somebody gave a speech, and he talked about, his speech title was, I think, Impermanence, and he talked about Buddhism. And I was in some ways so shocked. I'm like, I've been with Toastmasters for 10 years. Probably in between gap was like a couple of years, so 7-8 years. However, I was like, I've never heard any speech about Buddhism, and now when I'm following it, I hear the speech. So that was a really, really good universe's synchronicity thing that happened. Not only that, so that night I come home, and then at the time, I used to listen to this Buddhism books, The Art of Living, No Mud, No Lotus, and a few other things while going to bed. So that night, I was playing The Art of Living, and within 5 minutes, the author reads chapter 4, Impermanence. And I was thinking, wow, what a coincidence that Buddhism related speech. I have never heard of Toastmasters. That was the speech, and then I come home, and within, it was probably just a couple of minutes, not even 5 minutes. So this book has, I'll tell you how many chapters. This book has. So there's the table of content. In the beginning, there is foreword and other pages, so that's I'm having a little hard time. Okay, I think I found it. 7 chapters. So what were the coincidence or the probability that 183 pages, actually 193 pages, anyway, out of 7 chapters, what were the coincidence that it would be just within a couple of minutes of listening that same night would have the chapter impermanence the same night where somebody would give a speech about impermanence. So I think when we are more tuned to the universe, that's what Abraham Hicks would say, then this kind of synchronicities happen. And I think, and I believe in those things. And I think lately I have been a little off of that attunement with the universe, or how Abraham Hicks would say, I'm not in the vortex. And so I'm actually not having much synchronicity lately, so it's interesting. I'm glad that I talked about it. Kind of makes me notice that, and those are the things we forget a lot of time. So when we talk about it, think about it, we tend to remember. And some of that goes with the Sangha meaning people who believe the same things, and you talk about it. And I haven't talked about these things in deep with anybody for a while. I make this video so it kind of works it like a community type of thing, and it makes me remember these things, that these are important. So last night I did a meditation where Jason Stevenson has about, I don't know, about 3 million or maybe more, 3.3 million subscribers on YouTube. So he has lots of good sleep meditation videos, video audio on YouTube. Also, he has chakra clearing meditation. So last night I used to listen to his videos and go to sleep for years, and then in between with Buddhism and other things I haven't listened to as regularly, because sometimes it works and sometimes it didn't. So anyway, last night so there's one called, I forgot the exact title, but it was about clearing negative energy or something like that. And he talks about going to a lagoon, and then there's waterfall, and he talks about honing in on a few words, one at a time in your body, that are the words are destructive, that they hold negative energy, and then they come in block letter, and then you kind of wash them away with the waterfall, and then you imprint the opposite, the positive words and block letter in your body parts. And that I have done that before, and it is very deep and meaningful, and it does help. But again, all of this is like, it's temporary, because it doesn't stay permanent, so you have to kind of keep going back and do that. Last night I really felt the need, so I went and did that. And then what I thought is that the 5 mantra that I created for myself daily, the first one is, I accept the things that I can't change for my own inner peace. Number 2, staying in the present moment. Number 3, to be kind and compassionate with all my speech and communication. Number 4, forgive all past events and people around it. And number 5, look for positive in all those situations. So to make it more meaningful and to connect this to, it might sound weird, but it worked for me, so I did. I kind of broke my body parts to 5 different sections, and because before that, when I was doing the mantra, to me it seemed like that I am this is external and I'm kind of forgetting it to do it. So when I'm attaching it to the body, those words, I think they're becoming more prominent, because even though I'm imagining it, they seem to be more powerful that way. So the first one is accept. So I'm saying that not only that because when Bob Proctor said that if you say I will, it stays in the future. So I'm kind of making the statement as present. And he would also actually add the word grateful. So I could say, I was thinking just to say I'm able to accept all the things that I can change for my inner peace. So from Bob Proctor's point of view, he talks about having an A sheet and B sheet. A sheet is the things that are not working and whatnot, and he talks about burning that sheet down and then creating a B sheet, how you want your life to be, and then make those statements as your present. And I did that a few years ago, but now I'll keep it simple so I am grateful that I'm able to accept, that's my head portion, accept the things that I can't change for my inner peace. And it makes sense more to me because the acceptance comes from the brain, from the mind. Nobody knows where the mind resides, but majority of it is the research and stuff, they say it's the brain, the mind. So if out of the 5 mantras, if I could choose one, I think that's the one I will choose, because acceptance is what makes a lot of the other things simple. And then the second one, staying in the present moment, is like I'm grateful that, actually I'll drop the word grateful because it's too much to talk about and then it'll be easy to forget. I'm able to live at the present moment, my left arm. So the word present is embedded in my arm. I don't have a tattoo, but that's the concept. Almost like a tattoo, the present moment. And the right is be kind. I'm able to be kind and communicate compassionate way with everyone. And I wear this bracelet. This is the heart chakra color green. Sometimes I used to wear many different ones, but right now I'm trying to focus on the heart chakra more, so that's why I just wear this. And then the remaining 2, the forgive. This is one part of my body, all the way to my toes, the left side. I'm able to forgive everybody from the past and the present and even the future. That comes with acceptance. And finally, from this part, the shoulder all the way down to my right leg and toe, I'm able to look for the positives in every situation, the lessons, grateful to learn. I'm grateful for all of that. So yeah, they're making it very simple. The words are acceptance, present, be kind, forgive, look for the good. Yes, I'm going to keep practicing that, and I'll do the game of 5 things, take a few deep breaths, and finish the video. So game of 5 things is where we do the senses. So I can't really smell anything. As far as sound goes, I can hear some sound very far away. I don't know what it is. It's not lawnmower or something else, I'm not sure. I can hear myself talk, and I can hear when I touch the tablecloth a little bit. And I just heard my bracelet touching the table, and a little sound of the chair moving. And with my eyes, I see different colors and objects, the trees, the book, the orange color, the green, the picture of a coffee cup where it says, "What good shall I do this day?" And the picture of Shiva, Lord Shiva, with different colors. As far as taste goes, I can still taste the coffee in my tongue, and I had some energy squares with the coffee. Those are done. And last night I made cheesesteak that tasted so good. So I still taste it when I think about it. Add some edamame on the side and some fresh tomatoes. So I can still taste those when I think about it. And as far as the temperature goes, it's not too cold, not too hot. It's a good temperature in the house right now. I can feel the fabric in my clothes. I'm wearing a legging and my shirt, top, and the bracelet, the watch, chair, the fabric of the tablecloth. Those are the 5 senses, and the bodily senses, 5 bodily senses. And the 6th one, our mind. Right now I'm not thinking anything. I'm just looking at the trees and looking at the leaves moving. It's calm. I think this is what sometimes they talk about calmness, when you let there are dust or something in the cup, and you let it sit calmly, quietly, and then the dust would settle. So Thich Nhat Hanh books, this book, The Sun, My Heart, where he gives an example at the very beginning about apple juice with pulp, and how if you let the apple juice sit for a little bit and the pulp goes down, so it's just like that. I felt for a little bit, and then I saw there was an email or something came about, my mind kind of went. So there'll be things that'll come up, but then you just have to kind of, sort of like how the email came, it popped up and then it went away. We have to figure out and learn. That's about mindfulness, that you don't stop the thought, but you let it come and go. Somebody had a quote, I thought that was really, really good, and that resonated with me, so that's why I try to remember that. So your mind is like your house, where you keep the front door and the back door open, so when a thought comes, it comes from the front door and goes out the back door. Instead of resisting, when you try to resist keeping the door closed, the front door closed, it still comes in somehow. So you just have to, maybe to exaggerate it, keep all the doors and windows open so that it just comes and goes. That's more easy, and that way you can still focus on the things that you can focus on, because resisting makes it harder, because then it's just there. Well, I made the video pretty long today, but that's all right. I gotta talk about the things that's in my mind, and this is why I made this channel, where I am, and I guess somewhere it kind of helps to clear my mind. It's always good to start with a clear mind. Hopefully I am able to stay on the positive track, and I'll try my best to have the two things, the thinking and the action, positive today, so that the day unfolds, keeps unfolding with lots of positive experiences. It's the most important part, is catching ourselves on those challenging times. Because when things are calm and quiet, we are by ourselves, then it's easier. But then if some triggering situation happens, then how do we control our mind? How do we respond, not react? The simplest mantra from the Buddha meditation I got a few days ago was to be kind, because we can't keep track of the 100 things, but simpler the mantra we can have is when we will remember and will follow. And this whole Dale Carnegie book is about all about that. Every exchange, email, text, communication, all of this, how can we leave others a little better? Because when we communicate with others, the scale always tips. We make someone feel a little better or a little worse. So if we can try to keep making others feel a little better, it comes back. It literally comes back. It's the mirror, and that could be the motivation for us, because we want good in our life, and for us to want good in our life, we have to give out good. Whatever we want to manifest, if we express that, that's what is going to come out. That's what we're going to receive. Okay, a lot of it is easier said than done, but I'm going to keep trying. There are a lot of books where they talk about being 1% better, or if you're better than the day before, you're on the right track. And sometimes day after day, moment by moment, it's harder to judge ourselves. I know we're not supposed to necessarily judge ourselves, like we're not supposed to judge others. We just are supposed to observe, because that's how we grow. Instead of judging, criticizing, and blaming, we shouldn't do those things. Rather, observe and because when we get to that state, we are more kind to ourselves and we are more kind to others. So yeah, and with mindfulness, that happens because first step of this is awareness. When if we are not kind, people can tell us many things, but then if we do not accept it, then we are not gonna look at that wound in ourselves, to look at that wound, to be able to heal. This is our job, so we have to figure out a way how to heal that wound. And one of the challenging part with this is it takes a lot of patience, and It's easy to give up, and that's why Thich Nhat Hanh talks about Sangha. Speaking of that, they do have a Thich Nhat Hanh center close by. I attended one of their online event back in May. I think it was end of May. The July dates are not matching. Maybe in August I'll attend one. They have every month. They do one online, one in person. I really want to do one in person. I think that'll be more effective for me. Anyway, I'll finish the video. It's been a long one today. I'll take a 5 deep breath, calm my body down, and get going.